welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Warner Brothers' plans, or Warner Brothers Discovery's plans to create a new Lord of the Rings movie or series or whatever they're trying to do. But before I get into it, please subscribe to this channel and ring that bell icon down below to be notified when I post new videos. Also be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below if you like this video, and please share with your friends. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this article from Bounding into Comics. Warner Brothers Discovery to create a new Lord of the Rings film, or new Lord of the Rings films, that will honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality. Written by John F. Trent. I keep reading this guy's articles. They keep popping up. This guy seems to have a lot to say. And personally, I think he's great. Okay, so Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav announced during the company's Q4 2022 earnings call that the company will be making multiple new Lord of the Rings films. Now, I've been seeing this news all over Twitter and all over even Instagram. Everyone's talking about it. Personally, I think that they should have just stopped making Lord of the Rings films. I understand it's one of the best film projects in the world to some degree. Many people enjoy the originals, and personally, I got into Lord of the Rings from the books first, and then I got into the movies. I was not a huge fan of the movies entirely. Even the books sometimes are kind of, like I said, you have to really be really interested in reading some fantasy novels at the time. But generally speaking, I am a fan, I guess is the... Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and keep reading. Zaslav said, "Today I'm thrilled to announce that Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi signed a deal to make multiple Lord of the Rings movies. Lord of the Rings is one of the most iconic storytelling franchises of all time, and we're so excited. I mean, that's obvious to say the least." Following Zaslav's announcement on the earnings call, DeLuca and Abdi they issued a statement to Variety indicating that Tolkien's Lord of the Rings world remains largely unexplored. The duo detailed that New Line Cinema and director Peter Jackson took an unprecedented leap of faith to realize the incredible stories, characters, and the world of Lord of the Rings on the big screen. But for all the scope and detail lovingly packed into these two trilogies, the vast, complex, and dazzling universe dreamed up by J.R.R. Tolkien remains largely unexplored. On top of DeLuca and Abdi's comments, Lee Guinchard, I'm not even going to try to say the names correctly, CEO of Freemode, the company that holds the rights to the Lord of the Rings when it comes to films, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions, also told the outlet, "Following our recent acquisition of Middle-earth Enterprises, we're thrilled to embark on this new collaborative journey with New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures, bringing the incomparable world of J.R.R. Tolkien back to the big screen in new and exciting ways." He added, "We understand how cherished these works are, and working together with our partners at New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures, we plan to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality and production values." Now, I'm not one to be a stickler for details, but one of the issues that I have with this is this statement: "We plan to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality and production values." Now, we've seen this exact statement before. It's usually mentioned when they're trying to defend the Lord of the Rings Amazon series, which worries me because I recently saw that series and I just couldn't get past the first 3 episodes. It just kind of fell flat, kind of in a way. And I'm not one to insult series, but when you look at the quality of the costumes and the fact that they spent billions of dollars, supposedly, it kind of shows a glaring issue, and it's that they didn't really put a lot of thought into this, and the storyline itself was very flat, and it felt sad because of the fact that the actors could have been great. They could have been perfect for every role that they played, but they were not written with the proper script. They were not given a good story. It was just very sad. But then you have this: Warner Brothers Discovery and New Line Cinema did not announce what they would be adapting for these new films, or who would be involved in bringing them to the big screen creatively. However, Variety notes that they are keeping Peter Jackson and his original Lord of the Rings collaborators, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens. The trio informed Variety that Warner Brothers and Freemode have kept us in the loop every step of the way. They also added, "We look forward to speaking with them further to hear their vision for the franchise moving forward." Warner Brothers Discovery is currently working on an adaptation of the story of Helm Hammerhand, titled The Lord of the Rings, The War of Sorry. Okay, so the story follows Helm Hammerhand as he defends Rohan from a number of enemies, including Corsairs, the Dundledings, and enemies of Gondor that landed in the mouths of Lefnui and Isen. After an initial defeat at the hands of his rival, Wulf and Dunlendings, Helm and his forces flees to the Hornburg, where they not only deal with a siege, but also the long winter. While Helm and his forces attempt to survive, Wulf and his forces attack Helm's son, Haleth, at Edoras and take the city. After losing his second son in sortie to find food after the long winter had set in the Hornburg, Helm would single-handedly wage a war of terror on the enemies besieging the fortress. The film is expected to arrive in theaters April 12, 2024. There are plenty of other areas of Tolkien's works that Warner Brothers Discovery could adapt, including numerous stories published in the posthumous work, The Silmarillion, as well as, I actually have this one, I read this one not too long ago, as well as the stories included in the History of Middle-earth that were published by Tolkien's son, Christopher, in the years following his father's death. There's also Tolkien's unfinished tales. There's also a possibility that Peter Jackson's original Lord of the Rings trilogy gets remade. For all of Jackson's attention to detail, that films are missing key moments from Tolkien's novels, including the scouring of the Shire and Frodo's encounter with Tom Bombadil. So what do you make of Warner Brothers Discovery making new Lord of the Rings films? Now, that's one of the issues that I took with it, is that why make new Lord of the Rings films? The original ones were perfect. Granted, The Hobbit movies were a bit finicky here and there. They weren't as good as the books. But generally both were kind of lacking in that department. Personally, I feel that they could make a pretty good movie, but I also feel that there's a chance that issue, every time I see the issue, is trying to adapt when they try to adapt things for a modern audience. We are all a modern audience as long as you've seen the movies. If you read the books, you're not really, you're probably not part of the key audience that we're trying to reach. But when it comes to the movies were pretty good, and the books were good too. And the reality is, I don't think they're actually interested in adapting the books properly. And it's kind of sad because of the fact, as I said, in this world we're living in right now, in previous videos I've said this, they're trying to reboot everything, kind of replacing all the things that we have seen for years growing up, things that kind of defined an entire generation. And they want to reboot it, tear it down, try to say that it lacked something, and the thing that they're trying to point out that keeps lacking is like racial equality, gender equality. I'm like, no. The women were badass, the elves were great, every character in the movie stood out in a good way. The dwarves were amazing, everything about those movies were powerful and entertaining, and the books even more so. So personally, I'm not interested in seeing another reboot. I might not even watch it when it comes out. Personally, I'm just going to watch the classics, read the books, and stick with that. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about in this video. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button down below, and please share with your friends. Thank you for watching. This has been Create TV. Good day. God bless.